And welcome to this tutorial on advanced searching Google Scholar and then the library catalog. So first thing, I suppose we'll start in Google. So what we should do in Google, say we want to do some research on radiation protection. So we can just, as we've often done, we've just put radiation protection into a Google search and then we get back, oh, nice, 211 million hits. Okay, so obviously we need to try and narrow this down somewhat. So what we can do, rather than just kind of repeatedly putting stuff in the Google search bar, is we can use the boolean operators. Okay, so if we go to settings and then go down to advanced search, these are the boolean operators. So these basically allow us to be a little bit more clever with the way we search. Okay, so we've got all these words. So this is the traditional search function that we have when we have the Google bar. So what we can do then is we can actually filter through our 200 odd million search hits by picking an exact word or phrase we can put in. If we have a quote, perhaps we want this exact quote, we can put this in and Google will then search, or another search engine will then search for that exact sequence of words. Okay, we can expand the search then by saying any of these words, so we can include additional words. We can exclude findings by entering none of these words. So if you have radiation protection, we can put in here radon and we'll exclude all mentions of radon within them hits that we're getting back. Okay, then what we can do is we can actually go down further and we can narrow our results. We can pick a particular language, we can pick a particular country that the search engine or the pages exist in, or where they're published. We can actually narrow down the timeline. So perhaps we're looking for something that's happened quite recently, so we can narrow it down to a week, a month, a year, etc. Okay, and also what we can do then, we can pick is it, where it's appearing. So if it's just a title we want, or do we want it anywhere on the web page. So what we can do then on this is we've got site or domain. So this will actually allow us to search a domain, so we can pick .com, .org, or a site. So in this case, we're just going to pick .ie, which is basically it's now going to search for radiation protection in sites with a .ie, so Irish website. So we can click advanced search, and now we're down to 111,000 hits, and we see now we've got Irish websites. So we've got hse.ie, the EPA, we've got a lot of EPA, radiology.ie, HICWA. So the Environmental Protection Agency seems like a good website that we could probably find a lot of information. So now I'm going to go back to my advanced search, and I'm going to narrow myself down further. So I'm going to just search the EPA. EPA.ie. So what this is doing now is, prior we searched any domain that ended, any website that ended with the .ie domain, so an Irish website. Now we're going to just search the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency's website, for radiation protection. So we click advanced search, and now we're down to just over 5,000 hits. Okay, so what we can do then is we can go back into advanced search, and perhaps I want to narrow this down further. Perhaps I'd like to know about Sellafield, so the British nuclear power plant and the impact that's having in Ireland. So we can search Sellafield radiation protection, and just in this case the EPA website, and what we get back is we're now down to 403 results. So we've gone from just general radiation protection to just searching the Environmental Protection Agency website for hits about radiation protection and Sellafield. Okay, so there's stuff here about the impact of this on Ireland. So I don't really want to know about the impact, so we can go back and I can actually exclude impact. So we can go back to impact and exclude this now, and now I'm down to 136 results on Sellafield. Okay, so this is it's kind of lowering down, and as I'm going through these results, I see there's a Radiation Protection Institute of Ireland, which seems quite useful. So I'll go back to the advanced search. I've got the headings I have. So Sellafield, radiation protection, excluding impact reports and impacts, and still searching the EPA.ie. And what I can search is this exact word or phrase. So I can type that in here. So as you can see now, I've included the Radiation Protection Institute of Ireland as an exact phrase. So it's going to bring back all the hits within our previous search that have that in it as well. So we'll click advance, and now we're down to 40 results. Okay, so we've gone from over 200 million results to 40 results. So this is a really good tool when you're doing your research for your project on kind of narrowing down sources. So we can put stuff in there, and we can go back, and we could maybe look at we found the information from EPA. Then if we want to do some further research, perhaps we want to know about marine pollution of radiation, so we can just go back to our advanced search, Ireland radiation again, and then we have this organisation OSPAR, which I found on through this process. We can search here, and then we see here there's various information on radioactive substances in, oh, there we go, discharge radioactive substances into the marine area, and then there's a report here about Ireland. Okay, so that advanced search function, it's a really powerful tool to kind of, like I said, get us from over 200 million hits down to a handful, and focus our research efforts and really save time. Okay, so having found a relevant website on using a traditional search engine, what we've moved on to now is a search engine called Google Scholar. Okay, so basically it's extremely similar to Google. It's just this is for academics and researchers. Okay, so it'll work like your traditional Google search bar. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put in radiation protection, and we're going to search, and then we get back over 2.5 million results. Okay, so very similar to Google. It's searching the internet, but the important thing with Google Scholar is that it'll only give us back hits that are of academic significance. Okay, so I mean, obviously we need to check to ensure they're academically sound, and we'll talk about that more. But I mean, we can presume that most of the information here is academically sound. Okay, even though we will of course do our usual checks. Okay, so what we can do now is, traditional to Google, is we actually have boolean operators. So we go up here and we go to the advanced search function, and now we're getting the advanced search. So similar to the Google search function, that we have all of these words, which is basically our Google Scholar search bar. We can have an exact phrase or a quotation here, and it'll search for that. We can have at least one of these words. Okay, so what we can do is we can put in several words here, and it'll bring back hits that will have at least one of them words. We can exclude results by having without these words, and then we can have the hits coming back anywhere in the article or in the title of the article. So we can just pick in the title of the article, and as we see, we go from 2.5 million to 28,000. Okay, so what we can do now is we have to be doing research on radiation protection in Ireland. We found some useful stuff on the EPA website and other websites, so now we want to kind of contextualize that information with some academic literature. Okay, so we've got radiation protection, and now we'll just search Ireland and see what we get back. So we've gone radio protection with this exact phrase, so it's going to have Ireland in it. Okay, and we see we've gone down to 114,000 results. Okay, so we go back there and go in the title of the article and search, and now we've got back 6 results. So we've gone from millions to 6 results about radiation in Ireland, and these are, like I said, these are academic secondary sources. Okay, so we'll go back to our advanced search again, and we'll just pick anywhere in the article, and we can pick an exact journal if we want. So if we want, we can just pick an exact journal, or we can pick an author if we want. So in this case, we'll pick a You can see here I've entered the same information as before, but I've used the journal Health Physics. So it's only going to bring back hits for that journal. And then, okay, brilliant. So we've got 55 results from that particular journal, Health Physics, that are about radiation in Ireland. Okay, so we can go back once more to the results, and we'll get rid of Health Physics, and we can actually narrow down then finally by article date. So we just want to bring back articles published in the last 20 years about this. So we search this, and my goodness, we've a lot of literature about radiation in Ireland, so it's down to 49 results. So we can pick a particular year with that function. So we can pick maybe stuff that's been produced in the last couple of years. There we go, 12,000 results. Okay, so a really useful way of narrowing down what we want, excluding results, and fine-tuning down our search results. So rather than just slapping in radiation protection oil in the search bar and then spending hours upon hours trawling through pages of results on Google or Google Scholar, this is a good way of spending a little bit of effort at the start to think about what we're looking for and narrow it down. Okay. So we get our results back, and here's a few things we understand about Google Scholar. Okay, so if we're on campus, if we're in Maynooth, and the Maynooth University have access to the journal, when you click on the journal, you will be brought straight to the article once the university subscribes to the journal. You see, in this case, I'm obviously off campus doing this, so we're not able to access it. But what we can do if you're off campus is copy the title of the article and then go to the library catalogue and search it that way, and use the off campus access, and that'll be covered in the next screencast. Okay. So we go back to our original search page, and we see a few other things here. So basically, because a lot of this research is funded publicly, authors often have to make copies of their research available for free through some sort of institutional repository. So we see along the right hand side here, you see these links, and these are normally links to the free version of the article. So this will either be the print of the article, or it will be something called a preprint. Okay, so if it's a print of the article, it's basically an exact replica of the article, in which case we can well, typical, this one's not working, in which case we can just cite it as the article. But if it's a preprint, it means it's not got the same formatting as the final article, so we need to reference that as a website, an article found on a website. Okay, so then a few other things on Google. What we can do then is, say we found this article and we're finding it really useful. Okay, we can find out related articles. So we see below here is related articles. Okay, and if we click on this, we'll be brought to this. So we've 101 results about articles that are related to this. So the authors probably cited these articles in the original article. Okay, so this is a really good way of finding additional literature. If we found an article that we think is really pertinent to our research, then if we just put on click related articles, we're going to get loads and loads of other research that directly interlinks with the article we've been looking at. Okay, so it's a really good way of kind of being clever and expanding our research. Okay, also what we can do is cited by. So basically the cited by function will give us every author that has cited that article. Okay, so the article you're interested in, any other author who has directly cited that article, so its research has been done after the article appeared, will be there. Okay, so particularly in the sciences, we want the most up-to-date research. So there could be something in one of these cited bys that directly contradicts, or if not contradicts, perhaps contributes to the discussion that's in this article. Okay, so it's always good, particularly in the sciences, to engage that cited by, because it's going to give us the most up-to-date information. Okay, so that's the basic function of search within Google Scholar. One final thing before we move along is to show you how we can use Google Scholar to generate citations. Okay, so this little quotation marks here, double quotation marks, so we click on this, it'll give us a cited by function. Okay, and what these are is these are the these are the bibliographical references for the article. So basically your reference list at the end of your report, this is what it will look like. Now naturally you should double check that this reference aligns with the critical skills guide harbor referencing you've been given. Okay, also on this what we can do is we can export directly to EndNote or other reference management tools. Okay, there is a tutorial we've developed in critical skills to show you how to use Zotero, and Zotero will directly export without this, but this can export to EndNote, which the university libraries support. Okay, so that's a really handy way of generating citations as you go and building up your biography. Okay, so now having done that, you might want to maybe mess around with this a little bit and think about your own projects. Okay, so maybe Google a few searches and then Google a few Google Scholar searches to kind of narrow down your own research interest before we move along to the library catalog. So you can press pause now if you like, and then we move along after that. Search engine we're going to look at for this tutorial is the Maynooth University library. Okay, so I can't recommend the library enough. Okay, it's a fabulous resource, and to be honest, most of the research you should be doing in terms of locating sources, you know, your first place to go should be the library, the university library website. Okay, so we can go to the website and we've got our traditional search bar here. We can search for work. So again, I'm going to put in radiation protection. Okay, I'm going to press search, and it's going to bring us up, like Google Scholar does, it's going to bring us up with nearly 500,000 results for radiation protection. Okay, so very similar to Google Scholar, we've also got the Boolean operator. So we've got an advanced search function. Okay, so we see here we've got all fields radioactive protection, and we can narrow down the content type. We can narrow it down by discipline, language. We can exclude results. We can expand results. Okay, so perhaps there's a particular author we're interested in. So what we can do here is we can put in the name of our author here, and we can narrow it down. So we go to the and, so this means, so we can have similar to the Google Scholar, we can have radiation protection and J. Turner or J. Turner, so we'll bring back one or the other, or not. So we can exclude using this function here as well. So in this case we're going to have and we're going to put this in as the author. So we have all these functions here. So we can pick all fields. So it's very similar to the general search bar we have on these search engines. We can pick author, we can pick title. So if we have a title of a particular article and we're looking for, we can stick it in here. If we've got a publication title, so it's an article in a journal, we can stick it in here. A particular subject terms, if it's a part of an abstract, we're looking for here. So there's various stuff like ISBN numbers, ISSN numbers, full text. So it's just full text we're looking for. Geographic location. So just be careful here. Geographic location means if we're searching for something in Ireland, not a publication that's in Ireland. So sometimes you'll get a reference and it'll have the author and place of publication. So it's not the place of publication, it's the geographic location the article is about. Or we can have publisher. So perhaps it's published by the University of Chicago Press, the Royal Dublin Society, the Royal Irish Academies. Okay, so you can actually tie in publisher. So this is the author. Okay, and we can search this now, and we'll get back. Oh, we've got down to 44 hits. Okay, so I know the article, I'm interested in something he published in 1994, so I can search here from 1994 only and search again, and great, so now we've got 12 hits. Okay, so it's really a really important function that we can use to narrow down, and the search function is this advanced search. So very similar to the Google Scholar, we can add stuff, we can exclude stuff, but with these but this is really good that it actually allows us to kind of narrow down if we've got a title of a book, or we've got an author we're interested in, and we can just, you know, get rid of this and just search J. Turner in that year, and we've 32 results. Okay, so really useful tool for narrowing stuff down. Okay, so we just go back to the library search function again, and we put in our radiation protection, these results. Okay, so another way we can refine it down is using this function along the side. Okay, so say we're at home and we haven't got access to the library, so this is bringing us back hits for stuff we have electronically and physically. So we can just click full online text, and it's going to filter then down only to the material that's online. Also, what we can do is we can pick scholarly and peer review. Okay, so we think about for our research, we want these kind of tier 1 peer reviewed sources for our articles. So we can click this and we've excluded all non-peer reviewed or non-scholarly material. Okay, so it's a really good way of kind of refining down useful information. Okay, and we see here we've different sorts of material. So we book reviews, which are really good if you want to kind of an overview of a topic. Okay, but we just want journal articles. So we click this, and now we've refined down the results further. So we've got text that's online, we've got scholarly and peer reviewed text, we've got journal articles. We can narrow down the years, so the stuff published in the last 5 years, and then we can actually narrow down by discipline. So perhaps we just want physics. Excellent. So now we're down to just over 6,000 hits, and we can have a subject term. So radiation protection dosimetry, and now we're down to 2,500 results. And then what we can do then, now that we've narrowed it down by, look, I'm at home, so I need online text. I'm using this for an academic project, so I want scholarly and peer-reviewed material. Obviously, it's about radiation protection, so I want the most up-to-date material, only material published in the last 5 years. It's in the discipline of physics is what I'm working in, and I want it about the subject term. So then what we can do is we can actually go in there and start messing around, and we'll see it's pre-populated, and we can start then using these boolean operators here to add additional search, refine our search further. Okay, so I'm hoping this tutorial has been somewhat useful to understanding the technology that we can utilize to refine our search result. Okay, also we should refer to the tutorial on kind of keyword searching and advanced search strategies. Okay, that would be useful in terms of not the technology, but rather the kind of intellectual activity that goes on behind searching. So take a bit of time and mess around, particularly with the library catalog and the advanced search functions, as you're going to be using that.